You know, there's a famous saying a lot of people know. It's that a tzaddik falls 7 times and gets up. And the classic understanding of this is that a tzaddik falls and gets up again. But I think it's a lot more simple than that. We have very big pictures of what a tzaddik is, and we have many people that we can look at in past the avos, and throughout the generations, everyone can pick a name. The tzaddik, holy person, he lives in heaven. He's on a plane we can't even fathom. But I think today, what the meaning of that verse is for us today is that in the times of Mashiach, a person that falls and gets up and falls and gets up and falls and gets up, he or she is the tzaddik. In today's generation, I say today's generation, who am I to say that? The things that we struggle with, that we suffer with, that we fight against, that we fail with, are to a level that nobody, even 75 years ago, 100 years ago, could have ever imagined. The fights that they had were of a different nature. But the struggles that we have today, internally, mentally, emotionally, the things that are available, I sound like a rabbi now, the things that are available to us, and we all know what they are. Things that you can't say in yeshiva or seminary, because you'll get either kicked out or inappropriate. But they're so real. The things that we suffer with, do I have to say it? You can't say that to a rabbi. Maybe special ones, a few of them. But what's popular in popular Yiddishkeit, you can't talk about those things. And if you do, then you're not part of the game, really. Maybe you're a Baal Tshuva. The best case, you're a Baal Tshuva. But what about just the average person? And I wouldn't say average person, I mean the regular person who deals with things thrown at their eyes and their hearts and their minds day after day, and all we're trying to do is be a good person. I think that so many of us are missing the boat. We're not realizing the power of this teaching. Today, in the times of Mashiach, who am I to say? I'm a 26-year-old kid, lives in his parents' house, wearing rings But from my experience, this is what I would say. A person that falls and gets up and falls and gets up and falls and gets up there, the tzaddik. And it does not say, and he doesn't fall anymore. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? It doesn't say the tzaddik is someone who falls and gets up and falls and gets up and falls and gets up and then doesn't fall again. It's talking about a person who doesn't stop getting up. Doesn't matter what it is. That's the tzaddik. That's the holy person. That's the one who's close to God. You might never have experienced God in your whole life, but if you're someone who falls and gets up and falls and gets up, you're closer to God than anybody else. And anyone who tells you differently, there's nothing wrong with them. They just don't understand. And that's okay. There's different paths to God. There's different paths to Hashem. Just look at all the different Hasidisms. Did I say that right? The different Hasidic masters. They were all totally different. They all had a totally unique path to God. Rav Elimelech of Lezhensk and Rav Zusha, they're 2 brothers, and they were totally different. There's a famous story about Rav Zusha that he said, God, please give me Yira, because it was told about Rav Zusha that his Avas Hashem was so powerful. And he was praying, please, please, Hashem, help me have Yiras Hashem, help me have Yiras Hashem. And Hashem gave it to him. He gave him this Yira, and he curled up and he started crying and screaming. He was in so much pain. And he cried, he said, Hashem, please give me back the Ahava of Zusha. Please give me back the love of Zusha, because Zusha was not Rav Elimelech, and Rav Elimelech was not Rav Zusha. Rav Zusha's path was through love, and Rav Elimelech's was through fear. And obviously they both loved and feared Hashem. So, but you get the idea. It is so hard when we think that we're supposed to be anything other than ourselves. When we think that what we have is not good enough, and I need to be like that person because I'm just Penny. I'm just Penny. No, that's not it. It's mamish not it. It's mamish not it. There's one person out there that thinks that they're not good enough because of the things that they struggle with. They think that they're not worthy because of the places that they've fallen to in the past, in the present. It's just a measure of your courage that you keep going. It's just a measure of the tzaddik or the tzaddikat that you are, that you keep fighting to live, that you keep fighting to be better, you keep fighting to grow. You don't let what has happened take you, no matter how far you've fallen. Rav Nachman says about himself that often he would have to start many times a day as if it was a new day, because he had fallen in whatever way that meant for Rav Nachman, that many times a day he would have to restart the day as if he had just woken up. And today I really experienced that. I had my own personal fall. Painful, difficult. And for hours, I just laid in my bed. Couldn't get up. Couldn't do it. I was in so much pain. Just couldn't get up. And a voice in my head said, Pin, you're going to get up. And you're going to go back to living. And you're going to go back to just being you and alive. And you're either going to do it now, or in an hour, or in 5 hours, or tomorrow, or in 2 days, or in 3 days. How long do you need to lie here, before you get up? And it was a very beautiful thing, because for a lot of my life, I would have whatever you want to call them, falls for whatever, and I'd be miserable for months. Months. And now, thank God, literally, God's help. I mean, I never gave up on my life, and I think that's why maybe God has let me heal and break through a lot of the gates that I couldn't. It's all God. He opened the gates for me in many ways, and I have many gates to go through. Woo! Many, 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 many. Many, many, many. That's the biggest blessing in the world. I fell hard, fell flat. I wouldn't tell any rabbi what I did, But you're going to get back up, Pin. And it's okay if you get up in 4 hours. And it's okay if it happens tomorrow. It's okay if you get back up in 2 days. But you have the option, because you know you're going to get back up. It's so hard being honest and real, isn't it? So hard. And oftentimes we can't be honest and real with anyone for years and years and years, and it builds up and builds up and builds up and crushes and crushes and crushes, because we feel that where we've gone is so deep and dark that we're not even good, or that people wouldn't even respect us or think we're anything. And as religious Jews, we have such high standards when everybody knows. We have such high standards that everybody knows, but no one can talk about it out loud. Everybody knows how far we can sink, but nobody can actually talk about it. And definitely some places talk about it. Some people talk about it. And I'm not even talking about anything in specific. But in areas of sexuality, alcohol and drugs, emotional health, mental health, the whole gambit. And we all know it, but we can't talk about it. But we all feel it. And I just feel like Moshe Rabbeinu is looking down on our generation and be like, these are the biggest fighters that ever existed. You're the biggest fighter that ever existed. Like, we think we're holy. We look at you guys in 2020. If you live in our generation, especially if you're, 30 and under, and then go down. The younger you are right now, the holier you are. For sure. For sure. Whoever's 14, 15, 16, 17 right now, you are the holiest. I'm the holiest? What? I'm wearing jeans and I'm wearing a ring and I'm wearing a funky thing and I have long hair and I'm wearing a kippah sruga. I'm not wearing a kippah at all. I don't keep Shabbos. I ate kosher for the first time last week and you're saying I'm holy? Yeah, I am. I am saying that. And who am I? Nobody. Really nobody. But I am saying that because I know it's true. And you know what they say, like, take what works for you and leave the rest? That's the philosophy. Take what works for you and leave the rest. There's gotta be some people out there just saying, like, I'm just a human. And I'm just trying to live. And I know I want to be holy, but everybody else is telling me that I can't be because I do this, or because I wear that, or because I talk like this. And it's not true. And that's what needs to start changing. You are holy. We just forgot what holy means. We just forgot what holy means. Wow. Isn't it crazy to look into somebody else's eyes and say, I don't care what you've done or where you've been or what you're doing. I love you. And you're amazing. You're incredible. I don't care if you're 75. I don't care if you're 42. I don't care if you're 21. I don't care if you're 14. I don't care if you're married. I don't care if you're single. I don't care if you're religious. I don't care if you're not religious. I don't care if you're Jewish. I don't care if you're not Jewish. I love you. I'm not going to judge you. How in the world could I judge you when I've been where I've been? And maybe if you haven't been there, then maybe you shouldn't judge because you haven't been there, so you don't get it. And sometimes I judge people, and then I have to remind myself, like, Pin, what are you doing? Like, if you both could go into each other's hearts, you'd both totally understand how amazing you both are. Wow. I love you. I really do. And I just want to send you the blessings. The blessings, the blessings, the blessings of getting up. To never stop getting up. If you never stop getting up, then you are always close to God. Even when you fall. Even when you're falling. If you get up, if you're someone who gets up, and I know you can, I know you will, then you're close to God always. And don't let anyone tell you different. I'll be there for you. He is there for you now. And when those gates break open for you, you'll see that he was there. You'll see that he was right there with you. And you'll know a lot of things that you didn't know before. And you might just know how to look at another person and love them for whoever they are. I wish you good night. Good Sfiras Omer. Tomorrow, may the lights of Lag BaOmer and Rav Shimon Bar Yochai and the lights of love, Hashem's love, really, really make its way into our hearts. Laila Tov.